When I first learned how to use VLOOKUP in Excel, I was amazed by how much more powerful the program became. It wasn't just about performing basic calculations anymore. It opened up a whole new world of working with tabular data and efficiently transferring values. All of a sudden, I could move data around intelligently with just one simple function. But as I started using it more, I soon realized that VLOOKUP had some pretty significant flaws. The biggest issue? The lookup value had to always be in the leftmost column of the source table. If it wasn't, you were out of luck. That's when I stumbled upon the game-changing combination of index and match, which allowed me to bypass this limitation. Once I mastered it, I felt like I had unlocked a whole new level of Excel proficiency, and that gave me a lot of confidence. Years later, I've used index and match so extensively that I was actually surprised when Microsoft introduced a new function called XLOOKUP. At first, I didn't know how much better it could be, but once I started using it, I quickly realized that XLOOKUP is a far more elegant solution than index and match. With XLOOKUP, there's no need to nest two functions together, making it simpler and more efficient. Even better, it doesn't have the same drawbacks as VLOOKUP. You see, VLOOKUP is fantastic when your lookup value is in the leftmost column, but it falters as soon as you try to move your lookup value to the right. That's when index and match comes to the rescue, allowing you to search for values even when the lookup value isn't on the left. But even though index and match is a lifesaver, it's not perfect. For one, it's not the most intuitive function for many users, and it requires nesting two separate functions, which can take up more space in your file and make your work less efficient, especially when dealing with large files. That's where XLOOKUP steps in, solving all these problems with a much more user-friendly approach. Let's see how it works in practice. I'll type in the function name and open up the argument menu to walk through it with you. The first argument is called lookup value, which is exactly what you'd expect. The value you want to search for in your table. So, let's say our lookup value is Lina, a team in this case. As usual, we'll fix the column reference to make sure we can use this formula across the whole table. Next up is lookup array, which is where Excel will look for our lookup value. I'll select the column containing the teams from the source table and lock the references. Now the third argument is the return array, which is where we want to pull the corresponding results from. In this case, I'll select the range under country, as that's the field we need to fill in the new table. Again, I'll fix the row references, because we want the column to stay flexible as we paste the formula across. With these three arguments, XLOOKUP will look for Lina in the lookup array and return the corresponding result from the return array. So in the end, we'd expect the function to return Italy. XLOOKUP has 5 total arguments though, and we don't always need all of them. In most cases, the 3 we've used so far are more than enough. But just for clarity, let's quickly cover the other 2. The fourth argument allows you to specify a second array to search, in case the lookup value isn't found in the first one. The fifth argument lets you choose whether you're looking for an exact match or the closest match. I don't know about you, but when I've used VLOOKUP, I'm almost always searching for an exact match. Alright, now let's see how the function performed. The formula we created worked perfectly. It returned Italy when we looked up Lina. Now, when I drag the formula down and change the lookup value to Denny, it gives me America, which is exactly what I wanted. What's even better is that I can just copy the formula across the table to fill in the rest of the data, thanks to the flexibility we built into the XLOOKUP function by fixing the references properly. Here's the real kicker. Even if our lookup array were on the right side of the table, XLOOKUP wouldn't throw an error. I moved the lookup array and XLOOKUP still worked perfectly. So if you're not too attached to VLOOKUP, it might be time to say goodbye to the old and embrace the new. With XLOOKUP, everything becomes so much easier and more powerful. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next example.